Hello and welcome to the second edition of Flyers Talk with Dylan and Jared. I'm Dylan.
And I'm Jared.
And?
I'm Tyler.
And Tyler's here because he has been begging me to, and he will barely say any words. Right, Tyler?
Yes.
Okay. Alright, so we're going to get right into last week. Our predictions for the next 2 weeks was Vincent Lecavier for me and Scott Hartnell for Jared. Now, let's take a look at how good our players did. Jared, how many points did Scotty Hartnell get? Let's look at that.
He had 5 points.
No, he had 3 points since your last time. What is with you? My gosh. He had 1 goal against Winnipeg on the 29th, and I was there.
Yep.
An assist against Florida on the 25th, and a goal against the Sabres the 21st. So he only had 3 points. He had a +1 over that span. He had, I think, 13 penalty minutes. And he did.
You're correct.
He did. All right. Now, Vinny Lecavier. Would you mind telling me how good my guy did?
Yes. Vinny Lecavalier, he had 4 points.
Yes.
He was overall a...
-1.
Minus 1, yes.
What?
He had four penalty minutes, too.
Oh, yeah.
Both of our players, they sound like they're doing the...
I think mine did better.
Same.
What do you think? Do you think mine did better?
No, not at all.
Why do you think mine did not do better?
I'm just playing. I think both players did
I
about the same, in my opinion.
You know, it did look like Lecavier was out there, and when he was getting pluses on the score sheet, he was the one scoring goals. I mean, and getting points. But the only thing is, Lecavier did have a -1, which means he was out there the most times, more than Hartnell when there was a goal scored against. So, it was a little more even than I thought it would be.
Yeah, I thought, honestly, after the first game, I thought Lecavalier was just going to kick Hartnell's butt. Mm-hmm. But it turned out to be even, so I'm happy that it did not lose.
Wait, we need to pick a winner. There's no ties in this.
There has to be.
Nice voice crack, but there is no ties. There's no ties in this. There is no ties.
I guess we'll have to let Tyler be the decision maker.
Tyler, please.
I like Danny Briere.
He's a Canadian, Tyler.
I know, I wanted to say that.
Yes, now tell us.
I do like Scott Hartnell a lot better than Lecavier.
No, we're not asking you who you like better. We're asking who you think performed better.
I said Scott Hartnell.
You never even watched the game this year.
Bang, bang.
Are you serious?
I win.
That's not fair.
Lol.
That's not fair. All right, you're winning 1-0. I'm done. This is wrong. This is corrupt. All right.
I just don't think the defense is doing good.
The defense.
I
don't think the defense is the problem right now. I think they're doing great. How about you, Jared?
I think the defense is doing horrible. I'm actually going to touch on the game against Minnesota. Both of the goals were scored from defense mistakes. I know the one time Coburn, I saw the one goal I remember. Coburn was supposed to be covering a guy in front, and he went behind the net to cover another guy, left the guy wide open in front of the net, and they passed it, and he scored.
Yeah, I mean, I have to disagree with you, especially when it comes to that game. There were 2 goals scored in total. That's not bad. The second goal was just a juicy rebound let go by Ray Emery. Ray Emery did great that game.
But that was a great goal. It was a great goal.
You didn't even see the goal, Ty.
I saw
so
it on
sit
ESPN
down.
highlights, Dylan.
Just sit down.
Zing.
It was a rebound goal that Charlie Coyle scored. That's my last name. I'm Dylan Coyle. That's Charlie Coyle who just scored.
Number 9 or 3?
He's 3.
Yeah, number 3.
Number 3. So, I disagree with you, Jared. I think that the defense has not done a bad job. I mean, what do you think, Tyler?
I really don't think... I disagree with you. I don't think the defense is doing great. I think they might need to change the lineup a little bit.
The lineup's doing good.
Why
am I asking him for anything?
I think the lineup does need a little bit change.
Would you care to say who?
No.
He doesn't know anybody. Okay.
I really don't want to know.
So we're gonna move on from that. I do think the defense is good. Jared doesn't. So
and I don't either.
And Tyler is an idiot. So these opinions, I guess we have to agree to disagree. All right. So now I'm gonna say a subject. I doubt this will happen, but it's certainly worth consideration. Jared? What do you think about Steve Mason being an Olympian?
I think it's great. I think the Flyers got a great trade last year for Steve Mason that resulted in a plus for the Flyers.
Mm-hmm.
He's done great, way better than he did in Columbus.
Mm-hmm.
He's blocking shots. I want him to be our starting goalie. I want him to start more than Ray Emery because I think he's more stronger in the net.
Mason definitely has started more, but when it comes to the Olympics, now he's getting no love. Now we look at the Canadian goalies. The Canadian goalies in save percentage. Now look at this. We're not number one is Jean-Sebastien Giguère, but he's only played 7 games. If you take Giguère off that list, Mason is 4th in Canadian goalies with a .934 save percentage. That's awesome.
It's incredible.
That's awesome. Goals against average. You do have whoever Martin Jones, Chad Johnson, Cam Talbot's done great for the Rangers this year. Jean-Sebastien Giguère. If you take them out, Mason's like 6th on the goals against average list. So Mason certainly is not doing terrible. I mean, he's doing great. But according to Sportsnet.ca, an article saying the top 10 candidates for the Canadian starter: Carey Price, number 1. Number 2, Roberto Luongo. Then Mike Smith. Corey Crawford. Josh Harding, who has done great this year. Much better than he has done ever before. Number 6, Marc-Andre Fleury. Number 7, James Reimer. Number 8, Ben Scrivens. 9, Jonathan Bernier. And 10, Braden Holtby. There's no mention of Steve Mason on that list.
Now, let me just say something about that.
Mm-hmm.
I think that list is just it sounds like all the goalies on that list are, to me, fan favorites.
You know, if you look...
Go ahead.
If you look at the teams that are on this list, the Canadians, the Canucks, well, the Coyotes are an exception, but they've done great this year. The Blackhawks, the Wild, the Penguins, the Maple Leafs, the Kings, the Capitals, they're all bigger name teams, and they've never been known to have big goalie problems, except the Canucks, which Schneider went to New Jersey last year. But look at the Flyers. I mean, we haven't done great this year, but Mason's been our star the whole year. If we had to pick a star right now, it'd be Steve Mason. He's done awesome.
He has totally kept our Flyers team in it, and
He's kept us alive.
Yeah, coming up with better records, starting with a horrible record, and he's just kept us alive, getting better each game.
I totally agree with you there. I mean, we start out 1-7, and now what are we? 12, 13, and 2, I believe. I think we're 12. Yes, we're 12, 13, and 2. So, what I think is going to happen, I don't think Mason's going to get a job, maybe as a 4th or a third as a backup, possibly. But I doubt that will happen, especially with Mason's track record. I mean, it's just going to be too hard to get on Steve Yzerman, who is picks the players for Canada, to put him in there. And I think his stats are great enough. I think it's good enough, but he's not going to get the love. How about you?
I totally agree with you. Maybe he'll be a higher candidate next year, but this year I just don't think he's.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
he's as consistent.
I think as the years go on, if Mason, I know this is a small sample of what he's been doing great, but if Mason can keep it going this year, he will. I mean, who knows? By the end of the year, he could be a Vezina candidate, but that's very early to tell. Anyway, let's look at the Metropolitan Division for a second.
Okay.
The standings. The Penguins, the Capitals, and the Rangers are right now the top 3 in the Metropolitan. Well, the Flyers are not that far off. They just need, what is it? 2 more points, and they're tied with the Rangers for 3rd, and we have a game on the Rangers. That's incredible how terrible this division is this year.
Yeah, I don't like how the divisions are set up this year.
No, I wish they had it so just like last year, but Winnipeg needed to change to the Western Conference. They moved the Red Wings and the Blue Jackets over here. It's easier to get in the playoffs in the West, except if you're in the Central, because that's unbelievable how good the Central has done, and the West in general against Eastern teams. Anyway, let's go on. Red Wings. What do you think? Now, looking at the stats, Henrik Zetterberg, 28 games played, 30 points. That's awesome. That is a captain right there. Zetterberg was always going to be the one to be captain when Lidstrom left, and he's just done better. I want to say that he hasn't done better than I thought, but I did think Zetterberg's done better than I thought. But the good thing for the Flyers tonight, Zetterberg and Datsuk are both out. They're top point getters. Zetterberg, I forget what it was, but I know he's out. I think it was a disc or something that was wrong. And Datsuk said
a herniated disc.
Yes, thank you. Pavel Datsuk says that he's symptom free, but he won't rush back. In quotes, "I am trying to be safe." So,
I think this is a game that the Flyers need to be smart and win and capitalize on the Red Wings' injuries, and it could really help them in the standings.
It definitely could. Good point there. I mean, this is a huge game. This whole road trip is going to be a huge trip that could make or break a season. Now let's go into our predictions for the next week or two. Okay? So, who do you think?
I think the standout star for this next week is going to be Matt Reed. I mean, he was not as productive in the beginning of the year, but as the games have been going on, he's just been more of a productive player, and he's been putting the points on the board.
I do think that possibly I think it's going to be Mark Streit. Now, I'm not a huge fan of Mark Streit. I'll tell you right off. He has not been the player that we all thought he would be so far into this year. We signed him to a $5 million contract or something like that. That was so overpaid. But now I do think Streit, he's done better as of late. Streit has one goal that came against the Lightning a few games ago. I do believe that he will be the standout star. So, you have an offensive player. You got a forward. I've got a defenseman. So, yeah.
That'll be tough.
Yes.
Both players are very productive, and it'll be great to see what happens.
And if it's a tie, I'll judge it again.
You're not judging anything. That's not fair.
All right.
That was not a good debate.
I just like.
You don't
Hartnell.
know anybody.
I like Hartnell a lot.
You
more.
like Hartnell and
He's
Simmons.
been with us way more.
Are you serious?
Way longer.
We're not talking about how you like
I
them,
know.
Ty.
He's been.
Did
with
you
us
just say bandwagon?
Way longer.
I did.
Again to Tyler?
Yep.
Nice. Nice. Anyway, before we leave, I'd like to also say two big news that just came about the past few hours. Ilya Bryzgalov is on the IR from, I think it was backlash. Yes, with concussion whiplash issues. Goalie had 2.11 goals against average with a .939 save percentage in 4 games this season. So it wasn't a long stint with him in the Oilers, but he is injured. Reigning. Now this is I'm saying this from Bleacher Report, but this is big. This is interesting. The Vezina Trophy winner Sergei Bobrovsky, he has a groin strain. He's going to be out 4 to 5 weeks. Is this the first time you've heard of that?
Yeah.
Yeah, 4 to 5 weeks. That's a big hit to the Blue Jackets who are struggling, and same with Bobrovsky.
Definitely. And yeah, it's gonna be tough for them because they're already low in the standings. And having one of their best goalies out is going to be even tougher for them. And I think they're going to have to produce offensively and defensively. And if one of those two keys are missing, they're just going to keep falling down the standings.
Now, one more. Well, guess who was signed to a 7-year, $8.5 million per year contract? His name's Henrik Lundqvist of the New York Rangers, the goalie. This contract will take him till he's 39 years old. That's a lot of money. He's the highest paid goalie in the league. He is the second best, I believe, Rangers goalie of all time, right behind Mike Richter, if you look at the stats by itself. But, you know, I this was a deal they had to make. I mean, I know they have Cam Talbot behind them, but you can't really rely on the player with 8 games. You really had no other options for the Rangers right now.
Yeah.
So this could basically be the anchor that sinks them in the years to come with that big contract, or the thing that paid off so much.
Just in comparison, it could be like Philadelphia with the Brizgalov contract. He can either sink them, or what you said, he can either sink them or float them.
It's similar. I mean, anything can really happen. All right. Thank you for listening to our second podcast. Like we said, subscribe, comment, like, whatever you want. We're thinking of possibly enhancing our Flyers coverage, maybe an Instagram, a blog, a website, something like that. Twitter. I don't think Twitter. Facebook maybe. So we'll think of something like that. We'll put the link on our About section. But anyway, I'm Dylan.
And I'm Jared.
And I'm Tyler.
And thank you for watching.